YouTube, what is going on? You straight delicious guardians of the internet. Mesa Sean back here with PlanetDestiny for another exotic weapon guide. Now there is no exotic bounty for this gun, however I believe you would get it from either an engram farming somewhere or probably after a strike or raid. Who knows, maybe if you keep doing the vault of glass you can get it from one of those chests. As always, I gotta thank Tony from Finland for letting me hop on his account last night to get all these clips for you guys, as well as get a good feel for the weapon, and we're gonna go through the stats. Now this particular hard light is fresh out of the box. It does not have many of the upgrades, which you will see. However, I wouldn't even consider this thing an auto rifle. This thing feels like a straight submachine gun. I know we don't have a class for submachine guns, but if they had one, this would be in it. I'll give you a quick opinion before we get into the stats. I had a blast with it in PVE, and even though it feels like a submachine gun, very high damage, hip fire monster. I hip fire this thing like crazy, just takes people down really fast. PvP is a little bit of a different story. We'll go into the specific damage that you take off the body and the head, and you will see it is quite low, because remember, attack goes out the window when it comes to PvP, and you're focusing on more of the raw stats, the impact, fire rate, as well as the range. And in PvP, I was definitely having a hard time downing people. You'll see, we'll slow motion down 1 or 2 kills and show you the exact damage that it does off body and upper torso. But before that, let's go into the stats. Now you're going to start off with 260 attack, but we could bump that up to 300, and again, very high rate of fire, very low impact. Feels like a submachine gun. Not too great on a range, decent and stable. I found a lot of recoil, but reloads really fast. You get a magazine round of 40. The 2 key attributes you're going to want to unlock is glass half full, which the bottom half of each magazine causes additional damage. The other one are rounds that over-penetrate targets, and they also bounce off hard surfaces. You're going to need helium filaments and that lovely ascendant energy to upgrade her. So right now we just have the accurized, I always say it wrong, ballistics, and then you can move into CQB ballistics, which is going to greatly reduce the recoil, but take a hit on that range, and we don't want that. Aggressive ballistics, so you get a more predictable recoil, but again, take a hit on the range. There we go, glass half full. Bottom half of each magazine causes additional damage, so I don't know, you might want to squeeze off some rounds before you actually get into it with an enemy. Next one's just going to be your standard upgrade modifier for damage. Then we got quick draw, where you can draw it really fast. Then we're going to move into perfect balance, so really going to take that recoil down, which we're probably going to want. And the last one is you're going to max out your ammo capacity, but I would go with the middle one. Then you got volatile light, which is rounds that are going to over-penetrate targets, so I see that being more useful in PvE when you're taking on, say, a horde of enemies, and also these rounds are going to ricochet off hard surfaces. So then you got usual 4 damage modifiers, but the key attributes are going to be that volatile light and that glass half full. I see that being very useful. And as always, I'm going to give you my subjective, trying to be objective opinion as you watch my terrible aim on this guy right here. First, we'll talk about PvE. This thing is just, it's so much fun. Hip fire monster, great for taking down hordes of enemies. I really wouldn't use it for bosses or, say, high-level knights or anything like that. But for PvE, I think once you fully upgrade or max her out to 300 attack, very useful. More useful than it already is stock out of the box. Now, for someone like me that kind of lacks in the gun skill department, as you can see right here, I had a little bit of a tough time with it, because you can see that damage, only 25s off the head. I mean, if you go against someone with a Surus regime, they're going to be pulling 45s off. But you do kind of make up for it with that rapid fire rate. So I do see this being more useful once you unlock that modifier, the glass half full. So this way your lower half of your magazine will deal additional damage. And this thing fires fast, so you could get to that halfway point in your magazine pretty quickly. I would recommend this gun for hunters, fast classes, ones where you want to get in their face, work hallways, corridors. Not like this. But I would probably I would not use this weapon on the larger maps, because it's got no range whatsoever and no impact. So this is a gun where you want speed, agility, you want to get up close to people in their face and just spray them down. So let's take an example in PvP, slow down and kill, and actually see what it takes off the body and head, and also talk about how some of the other weapons compare to it. So now Shawnee got lucky here with getting most of his shots on the head. Now you're going to see it's going to pull 25s off upper torso and head, and then 17s off the body. Now that's a little concerning for a PvP perspective, because when you go up against guns, let's say like the Sidonia AR3s of the world and the Galahads, typically they'll do 22s off the body and 32s off the head. Not even to mention if you go against the Surus regime, he's going to do 45 off your head and upper torso. But remember, the Surge regime has a very slow fire rate. So what I think it's really going to set this gun apart is once you get to that glass half full modifier, I'd be real curious to see what it does in terms of PvP damage to both body and upper torso. So if you guys have this, please let me know in the comment section if you have it upgraded and what are the damage numbers that it's doing off body and upper torso. And that is it for me, guys. Once again, I am Mesa Sean here for PlanetDestiny.com. Oh, look at this purple engram. Tony, you're going to be real happy with me for using your account last night. And that's it for me, guys. So please drop a like on this video if you see fit. Make sure you subscribe to PlanetDestiny.com, where we try and do our best to meet all of your Destiny needs. That's it for me. Stay beautiful, Guardians.